So we've already touched on some of the benefits of Microsoft Azure, but we're going to go a little bit more specific. Azure is more cost effective for SMBs than other providers. And a lot of this has to do with around with the licensing. We'll get into it a little bit later about other cloud providers and why you maybe want to choose Azure. But the reality is, if you're going to look at another cloud provider, you're probably going to be running Windows on those other cloud providers. And they have to pay royalties and licensing to Microsoft to use this, which means their baseline costs are generally going to be more expensive. Microsoft's taken a very interesting approach where they've developed a lot of Office 365 SKUs and packaged in a lot of extra value that only applies to Azure. So you may already have a lot of the licensing and the requirements already included on your account and not have to pay extra. So when you start to run these economies and you look at the return on investment and you actually dive in, Azure tends to be more cost effective than other providers, despite what the sticker shock up front may be. They've also, because they are the ones that are really building your end user environment and the backend environment and your cloud environment, they have tightly integrated services. So they're more seamlessly integrated, and there's a concept called single sign-on as an example, where you have one set of credentials starting from logging into your systems all the way to every application you run. And Microsoft's really good at integrating that. And depending on the stack and what you're running, you now have a completely secured environment that is locked in and completely monitored and secured by Microsoft. And then you don't have to worry about password leaks or anything like that, because you've got best-in-class security up front. And that's already likely included in what you're consuming from them. And quite honestly, small to medium businesses were built on Windows. Your options out there were probably Windows and Linux. And unless you were very, very specifically building something on a Linux platform, you defaulted to Windows. Even if you're running on a Mac, there's a very good chance your backend infrastructure was Windows, because they built and they pioneered this industry.